Hi guys, please subscribe my channel to know more about technical courses. Also click on bell icon to get the notifications. Hi everyone, in today's session we are going to learn about basic class modeling. In the previous session we have already studied about what is class and what is object. So now let us just advance with the next basic concepts involved in class modeling. As you have already known, every object has got attributes and operations associated with it, and class is going to give you the template that is going to create the objects. Now let me explain about class modeling using UML notation. What do you mean by UML? That is Unified Modeling Language, which heavily dependent on object oriented principles. So it gives you the visual representation of how the class is going to be for your software system. So what is the representation of a class diagram? Every class diagram has got three partitions, wherein the first partition you are going to write about the name of the class, and the second partition will tell you about the attributes of particular object, and third partition will let you know about the operations that are being performed by the object. So with this basic principle, we are going to now take up banking system as the example to explain how the class modeling can be drawn for a particular software system. As you know, the banking system will have so many components associated with it. Before you start with the class diagram, first you need to identify the objects involved in the banking system. For example, when we use banking application, we have bank as the prime component, followed by the branch associated with the bank. Then you have accounts which are going to be possessed by the branches, as well as you have so many types of accounts, like you have loan account, you have savings account, you have current account. So these are the different types of accounts a customer can have, and one more important component that a banking application is going to have is a customer. So the first step before you start drawing the class model is to identify the components or the objects involved in your application. Then comes pertaining to each object or each class, you need to identify the attributes related to that class. For example, let me consider just bank as one of the classes over here. Every bank is going to have a name associated with it. For example, I have Karnataka Bank, I have Bank of Baroda, I have Canara Bank, so on. So you need to have certain attributes which are uniquely identifying a class. For example, I have a name and the location where exactly the bank is located. Then the third point is you need to define the operations that are being performed by each class. For example, for the bank, I can have an operation that is adding up the branches pertaining to a specific bank. You can also define many operations associated with each class over here. And one more point to be noted here, if you observe here, I have made use of certain symbols here. For example, I have made use of minus here and I have made use of plus here. What exactly they indicate? They are nothing but access specifiers. Okay, what do you mean by access specifiers? These are basically will indicate the way in which these things can be accessed. Minus here indicates private attribute which are going to be accessed by the objects of a specific class only. No other classes can have access towards these attributes. And similarly have something called plus symbol which refers to an access specifier called public, indicating that every other class or its own class can have access towards this method. Likewise, I have two more access specifiers, default as well as one more called protected, which are basically used by the inherited classes. So now let me explain one of the examples that I have taken, that is banking application. Okay, so to begin with, I have a bank and a branch. Okay, and whatever line that I am connecting with each other, that basically indicates the association between the classes. The third step, once I have identified the objects, I have identified the attributes, I have identified the methods associated with each class. Now I have to link them together by a concept called association. That is nothing but link connecting each other. Now you can see here a bank has a branch. Okay, this link indicates bank has a branch. And what this diamond shaped symbol indicating over here? It basically indicates a strong aggregation. Okay, bank is strongly connected with branch. Okay, both are strongly connected with each other. The existence of branch is heavily dependent on existence of the bank. If bank is stopped working or it is being terminated, then you cannot going to have the branch. So that indicates strong aggregation, which is indicated in UML with the darkened diamond shaped symbol. And what is these numbers indicating? 1 and star. Basically they represent here the cardinality ratio, means how many instances of bank can relate with the instances of branch. Here one bank can have multiple branches. So multiple here is denoted with symbol star. Okay, for example, I have Canara Bank. Okay, in Dharwad, a Canara Bank can have multiple branches located at different locations in Dharwad. So how can I going to represent it with the cardinality ratio? One bank can have multiple branches. Similarly, let us move on to the next class, that is account. A branch can have multiple accounts or it can also have 0 accounts. Okay, so here one branch can have 0 or multiple accounts. How do I denote it? 0 followed by 2 dot, then a star. Star always indicates multiple. Then here I have not darkened this diamond shaped symbol, which indicates that branch and account are weakly associated with each other. Even though I remove the account, branch still exists. So that's how I can differentiate strong aggregation with weak aggregation. Okay, strong aggregation is also referred with the term composition. Here it is referred with weak aggregation. What is the differentiation that you have? Here I have darkened the diamond shaped symbol, but here I have not darkened, which indicates that both branch and account can independently exist each other without depending on each other. Okay, now coming over to the next level, that is where I have indicated types of accounts. So these 3 types, whichever I have indicated, loan, savings or current, both are derived from a class called account, wherein I am representing inheritance principle, which we have studied in the previous session. So here account is going to be the parent class and loan, savings, current are going to be the child classes or subclasses. Okay, what I can do here is every account is going to have a common operations associated with it. Once we have account within the bank, we are going to deposit the amount, we are going to withdraw the amount. Okay, so these operations I can make them as common operations for all these types of accounts. So let me store in a parent class so that I can avoid rewriting the implementation of these methods within these classes. So only specific methods and the attributes pertaining to the child classes are to be included in these class structure. So how do I indicate the inheritance concept? It is with this upper triangle symbol. So this basically indicates that these child classes are derived from account class, and account is the parent class, and these 3 classes are going to be the subclasses or child classes. Coming over to the last class, that is customer. Okay, customer is the principal class over here, wherein he can either have a loan account or he can have savings account or he can have the current account. But let me just explain the association between each account type over here. Let me just take up loan and customer relation. A customer, that is one customer, can have either 0 loan account or multiple loan accounts. Why multiple loan accounts? Because in the same bank he can take up car loan, he can take up house loan. So that's why it is more than one. How can I indicate it? With the star symbol. Or it may happen that a customer may not take up any loan. So in that case it is going to be 0. So how should I be indicating? 0 followed by 2 dot then star, where it indicates a customer, that is one customer, can have either 0 or multiple loan accounts within a bank. Then coming over to the savings account. As per the rule set, a customer can have only one savings account, or he may not have the savings account, but he may have the either loan or the current account. So how should I indicate? 0 followed by 2 dot then 1. A customer can have 0 or 1 savings account. Similarly, it is applied to current account also. A customer can have 0 or 1 current account. So this is the example that we can take up for basic class modeling. In the next session, I am going to deal with the advanced class modeling. Thank you.